There are certain things that we better not share with others, but sometimes over an interesting conversation, we don't really think twice before saying something and we share a lot of personal stuff. A friend of yours shares his plans after graduating. You find that interesting and you start talking about your goals as well. A delightful conversation is something we all enjoy having, but when we share certain things about ourselves, we might give a negative impression about who we are. So here in this video, we'll talk about 3 things that you probably should never talk about, unless you really have to. The first one is your problems. When we go through something difficult, we feel the urge to speak out, to take it out of our hearts, to tell someone about what we are going through. Because many of us find it difficult to control our emotions. By expressing yourself, you feel like you're getting rid of this negativity. But in reality, you're making things worse because that often makes you appear weak, unable to take responsibility for your life. In fact, over time, that turns into a habit of complaining. We create a negative atmosphere around us that no one really enjoys being around. Part of that is, over time, we start complaining about everything without realizing how creepy we sound. We start complaining about that guy who wasn't kind enough in the shop, the waiter who was little rude, or that friend who borrowed money from you and then disappeared. A friend of mine got himself to the point where he literally now complains about the way people dress. Of course, sharing your problems once in a while isn't really a big deal, especially when we go through something serious. But make sure you do it with the right people who you know that can help you one way or another, either by directly taking action or giving you a good piece of advice. Secondly, gossiping. We all agree that gossiping is bad, but for some strange reason we do it all the time, and it seems like people have accepted gossiping as the bad thing that it's okay to do. But gossiping isn't only bad because you're talking behind someone's back, but rather how it makes you appear in front of others. When you're spreading bad news about a friend, for example, it gives the impression that you're insecure about yourself. You need to put someone else down in order to make yourself feel good. It might not seem to you like that when you're gossiping, but that's how others view it. A person with high self-esteem would never gossip. They have more important things to talk about. That's just part of the story. The other part is, gossiping is a solid proof that you're not trustworthy. You're not someone with whom people would want to share their personal lives. Here's a fun fact. The person amongst your friends who never gossips or doesn't speak often is the one who knows everyone's dirty secrets. Because everyone turns to him to share their difficulties. They're like the psychologist in every gang. And lastly, try not to talk about your achievements. What do you want to say to a person who talks about his great achievements? What a jerk you are! Shut your mouth! Achievements are great. They're what makes our life meaningful. But let your achievements speak for themselves. If they're big enough, people are going to notice them and talk about them. In fact, they would admire you because actions speak louder than words. But the moment you start bragging and telling everyone of what a cool guy you are, your achievements stop making any sense. You simply will appear like an egoistic douchebag. You will make people jealous, some will resent you, and you will create unnecessary conflicts. In fact, if you really have achieved something, you won't feel the need to share it because you already have that deep internal satisfaction. In short, sharing your problems makes you appear weak. Gossiping is a sign of low self-esteem, and bragging will only devalue your achievements.